Welcome to another episode. I am Dee, and this is the Sussex set. Let's call this a Sussex short. We'll call it a Sussex short. Oh, you know what? How about a short set? A short set. And I had to come on here to talk about Rachel Meghan Markle, Sussex, at Paris Fashion Week in Balenciaga. Yeah, Mama is emerging. And this is a different type of emergence. But I know you see it. I know you feel it. She's out here and she's saying, here I go. If you're new here, I'm V. And I started this podcast back in 2019 when Meghan joined the royal family, but specifically right after she got married. It was a whole lot of nonsense happening around her. And so there were a lot of Sussex fan podcasts that were out, including this one. Once Meghan came back to the United States, she was kind of out of, I'm going to call the danger zone because of what she said they put her through, let alone what we kind of picked up on our own, just seeing how she was being regarded in the tabloid press. So when she got back to the United States, she was really just back in her philanthropist bag. Obviously, the pandemic happened, but she's doing her thing. There was less of a reason to make the podcast on a weekly basis because if you've been here for a while, you know, and people love to talk about parasocial relationships. It was not that at all. But you know that there were times when Meghan's fans felt like they had to go to battle for this lady on a daily basis. And like looking back, because time is a trip, like it goes by so quickly. Looking back, it's incredible. Just the number of royal reporters' names that we know that we really shouldn't, but we only know because we were kind of like combating them because she couldn't, that have blocked so many of us. And things that we have done to call these people to task to answer for some of the lies that they told about this lady. That stopped happening when she got back over here and she basically saved herself because she had to. So the podcast kind of fell off a little bit. Life happens and, you know, life moves on. But I do want to get back to, we'll say shorter episodes, at least to start. I do enjoy the longer episodes, but the shorter ones are the ones that I can manage with my schedule. You know how it is juggling things. And I don't like posting an episode and then not posting another episode, not being consistent, because I feel like that's disappointing, and it should be disappointing to people who actually like listening to the episode. So I am going to go at this with a new sort of focus on consistently uploading shorter episodes until I get into the rhythm where I can, you know, consistently post longer. For the YouTube components of the podcast, I'm probably not going to be as intricate there. I'll just upload the audio file because I know there's a lot in the community, a lot of people there that don't have Apple Podcasts or podcasts that they have on their phone, but they like to stay connected through YouTube. So we'll be doing that. So thanks for sticking with me, and let's get into Meghan at Paris Fashion Week. Okay, I just had to talk about this moment, and this is really what spurred me to get on the mic. Meghan rolled up to Paris Fashion Week for her first time, and you wouldn't know it looking at her. And she said, the girl y'all think you are, that girl boss, you know, that soft life liver, you know, the one that turns heads just by entering a room, even if she does so silently. I'm her. I'm her. I'm her. My name is Meghan Sussex Girl, and I'm her. Here I am, and I've arrived. Now, when I first saw it, I was like, Meghan at Balenciaga? Nothing against Balenciaga, but Meghan at Balenciaga. And then I saw that it was a new designer at the head, and she was his guest. I said, oh, this ain't Kim Kardashian's Balenciaga. And again, nothing against her either. But I remember once she went to a fashion show wearing Balenciaga like police tape. And that's a totally different look. But when I saw Meghan, I was like, oh, she's the guest of the designer. Surely that is also Balenciaga that she's wearing. And in Meghan's signature style, because she loves a button down. She loves something that's going to drape nicely on her. She's very high class. Like her style reminds me of coastal. I call it coastal grandma. Some people may call it coastal grandmother. But even before the whole royal life, she was always a wide leg trousers girl. She was always a not too form fitting type of girl. I mean, Loro Piana, she wears that a lot. Super high class. Just go look at what Loro Piana charges for basic things. Girl, that's Meghan wardrobe. But in Balenciaga, honey, she looked amazing. Like that white cape just, I saw this short clip of her taking a picture, pose, and then she walks off and the cape just kind of just flowy in the wind behind her. Like Balenciaga is turning a corner, and what an announcement, and what a statement to do that through Meghan. And of course the internet blows up after that. Twitter blows up, and I'm just like, here she go. Here she go. And I love it, you know, but she's of course seen at the front row, special guest of the designer Pierpaulo Piccioli, and just looking amazing. She had her cheekbones all out, hair pulled back, honey, face just right there, just mugging in front of the camera. And it's just that one picture where she shows up in the black dress, right? But she's leaving and they're whisking her to the car. When I tell you, it looks like a CoverGirl ad. The way she looks back over her shoulder, girl, Meghan is signaling something really significant. And even though fashion is fun and she looked great, I'm convinced that this moment is not about just fashion. This is about her taking the driver's seat of her public persona. Meghan knows how people perceive her, you know, in the world, positive or negative. And unfortunately, she has to be hyper aware because of what she came out of, being basically a target of the tabloids. So she knows how people are going to perceive her on the positive side, on the negative side. This is her signaling that she does not give a fuck one way or the other. She don't care. She don't care. She also has already said, you know, the quote that flattery and criticism go in the same place, in the trash. But Meghan is signaling that she knows the weight of her influence. We know she supports Friends. That's genuine. I have no doubts. But that friend is also supporting her and saying, here you go, baby, take your stage. This is your moment. Let the world see exactly who you are and why you are her. And I love that it came from out of nowhere. Like nowhere. We're used to seeing Meghan doing an interview, doing a podcast, you know, a little clip here or there, you know, letting you know what she's working on charity. No, sir. No, ma'am. She said, no, I'm in Paris in my bespoke Balenciaga. Take a look. Can you see the crease? Do you see how clear my skin is? How well rested I look? Like, she looked amazing. And I mean, Balenciaga down from the clutch to the shoes and everything in between. Because if that's the new image, I won't say face, because I wouldn't say she's the face of Balenciaga, but she's certainly signaling a huge pivot for that brand, because what a stage to announce a different direction. You know, to put Meghan Markle up there, Meghan Sussex, I know she likes to be called Meghan Sussex, to put her there, and then the world just kind of stops. And it's amazing when you look at each and every one of those pictures. And this is where I just, you know, this is where I as a fan just am completely amazed. Somehow she manages to make snapshots. And I know these are photographers and they got great equipment, but like, everybody can't do that. She makes snapshots look like actual press photos of like a campaign, a fashion campaign of some kind. It is simply amazing. And the only thing I can attribute that to is her inner aura. Like kids talk about aura, that's aura. Because when it translates and it translates all the time for Meghan. You know what I'm saying? Like she's aware of the camera, but it's not her posing at all. It's just her being herself. And then what you end up with is a hell of a shot. Like how many photographers have gone viral, even when she was a royal, for taking pictures of her and her basically doing the work of the photographer outside of composition. That's every single image I saw from Paris Fashion Week with Meghan. Now, according to Vogue, Meghan's appearance was a surprise for everybody there, which I love. And she also wore a second look, which I referenced earlier, a black dress with a cape draped over the shoulder. And now we know Mama loves a cape. She has a number of cape looks. Okay. And I love that both looks had a cape. This is somebody true to brand. She's such an example, I think, not just in fashion, but just in being consistently yourself. You know, she can wear Balenciaga and still dress like Meghan. She can wear Laura Piana and still dress like Meghan. She can wear J. Crew and still dress like Meghan. You know what I'm saying? It is the way that she is so consistently herself. And while she might be soft and kind and gentle with friends and strangers alike, that is a tough goddamn woman. Because she's showing you, even just through fashion, like, and it's not just about fashion. It's about, again, the energy she brings to everything she does. She's showing you, despite how soft you think she is, she has a core of steel. And you will not knock her off her fucking square. You're just not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. She's showing up as the person you love and hate every time, and she's leaving with her dignity intact. And that's whether it's Paris Fashion Week or the British royal family. She's still going to be her, you know? And again, whether you like it or not, and that's saying a lot about Meghan, because very few people have gone through what she has actually gone through. And, you know, kind of what irks me and irks a lot of her fans is like, from a distance, it looks like, oh, you know, she's so privileged. But the lady was like on death's door. Like for real, for real, for real, for real. And people even, you know, tried to say she was making that up. But you were not in, like, people were not in her situation to know how isolated she was. We knew that, though. That's the crazy thing about her fans. Like, we knew, despite seeing her in the tabloids every single day, she was not being seen in reality. They held that lady hostage while she was pregnant. They tried to dim her light, right? And I don't want to talk too much about the royal family, but when I see her looking just so self-assured and rooted, you know, that would have broken a lot of people. And it really only adds to her legend at this point, because that's what I see when I see her at Balenciaga. She's in legend building mode, legacy building mode. You know, women in their 40s tend to do that. We see that from Beyonce. You know, we're seeing that from Rihanna. Rihanna's not quite in her 40s, but she's in her legacy building mode. You know, she's showing up as the person that you will talk about for decades. I feel like this is also Meghan showing us that she plans to have serious legitimacy in the fashion world. Not just, I showed up wearing this brand and this brand sold out. You know, not just, I look great and create viral moments and TikToks. No. That you, as a designer in a major fashion house, you're clamoring to have me sitting on the front row of your fashion show. You're clamoring to make things for me. Not on some, like, I'm full of myself type energy, but more so, I know who I am. And this is the altitude that I'm cruising at. Who's going to rise to meet me type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because she deserves that. For all of the work that she's put into herself, into her life and her career, you just never know. You know, her life, I think, is a testament for women And girls, like, you never know where you're going to end up. You don't know what trials or tribulations you're going to have in life. But if you are solid in who you are, there's nothing that's going to knock you off your course for very long. Nothing, not even a king or a motherfucking queen, girl. Not even. I don't know if y'all realize how fucking powerful that is. Because the King of England, the now King of England, quite literally tried to stop her. And she kept motherfucking going. The fuck? Like took away her security, took away everything, tried to take away everything from her that they stayed at Tyler Perry's house as a refuge. And now she's in Piccioli's house, fashion house. That is, you see what I did there? But she's solidifying alliances and legitimacy in this world that, you know, some royals who shall remain nameless wish they had an in and they couldn't get an invite to save their lives. All they got is Alexander McQueen. And you know, that's my dog, y'all. Do you know Paris Fashion Week is like the fashion week? Every city loves to be like, oh, you know, we're the premier fashion week. We're like, you know, the fashion capital is Paris. It's always been Paris. Milan might be a second, you know, New York, somewhere in there. Paris is number one. Everybody else just falls into place wherever they fall. London, girl, you last. You just always going to be the last one on the list. And that's not hate. That's just simply what the tea is of the day. No shade. But that's just generally how it goes. Paris is always first. London is always last. But either way, Meghan was the moment, and she's basically showing that she adds to everything that she's included in, even Paris Fashion Week. She contributes just by her presence being felt. I'm sorry, I know that sounds real glazy, as the kids say, but look. Anyway, shout out to Meghan Sussex. I love that she refused to be passive. She refused to be erased. She refused to be silenced. You know, and she carries with her a quiet energy already, but you're not going to silence her. And she's not going to hide. That's a lesson for us all. And well, I guess that's about all I have for today, y'all. I think my 15 minutes is up, but I am so glad to be posting this episode. I am so glad to just be back in touch with a lot of you guys on YouTube. Y'all know I'm always on Twitter. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in. You can follow me in all the places. I'll have everything linked. And I will catch you guys on the next one, which will be dropping sooner than you think. See you guys. Peace.
I'm a bad bitch. You can't kill me.